Welcome to another edition of Locked On Texans and Jaguars. We finally got together for our annual crossover. It's biannual because we do it twice a year. Our biannual crossover here. Welcome in my boys, John Hickman and my boy Locked On Tone. What's going on, fella?
What's going on, man? Happy to be talking football. 22 weeks in a row where we talking football from college to NFL. So to all you ladies out there, you got to understand what we are finally happy to be a part of.
Are y'all really happy to talk to John? You really happy to talk to me, man? Are you happy to talk to me?
I'm not. I thought for a second I was gonna come on here and gloat, but Texans made a couple questionable roster moves that had me Texan tone. Just giving my apology for all the foolishness that I was talking during OTAs, during training camp. I'm not excited. I'm not excited.
Man, you don't have to. Apologize to me, man. It's all gravy. We're gonna see what it does on Sunday. Let me let you know about this though. It's not too late to listen to the Ultimate Season Preview 2021 for previews of every team and every division from our local experts and Odyssey's NFL experts. Search Ultimate Season Preview 2021 today on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. Great show. We were all on that show. We put a lot of work into that. So now we can get to the business at hand. I hear that it's quiet on our front. I don't know what's going on there with you guys, but it's pretty quiet on our front. The Jaguars, all they did today was name team captains. They named team captains, and I'm pretty excited about the fact that it's probably who you thought it was going to be. No noise has been made other than that, but I hear there's rumblings in Houston, and that's probably why my man started apologizing to me. So tell everybody here what happened today in Houston that's going to affect the game on Sunday.
Well, honestly, if you don't mind, Cody, I got it. One thing that happened today is that really affect the game on Sunday, but Bradley Roby will be going to New Orleans. Now, he couldn't play week one due to serving the rest of his suspension, but he's going now. That may possibly affect the game is Danny Amendola, who Houston signed on Tuesday night. So between those two part of news for Houston, right now the Texan Twitter streets is not safe for nobody. Everybody is up in arms. Is very unpleasing to the average Texan fan. I will say that I think we need to take a step out of our feelings very quickly and think about who we have here as our DC now. We have Lovie Smith, who likes to run that Tampa 2 defense. We do not have a corner that excels in man coverage, but if there was a cornerback that didn't excel at all, it would have been Bradley Roby. He's more of a man cover type of cornerback. Him and zone don't go hand in hand. And so while the move saves Houston $9.2 million, which is good, you get a cornerback in Jimmy Moreland who can play that zone coverage a little bit better than what we saw Bradley Roby be able to do. Take your feelings out of it, even though he's probably the best talent in that secondary. It was a good move defensively and schematically.
You think so? Because what I'm trying to do is really figure out why this late in camp.
Well, you got to take a look at it from a standpoint, and I actually had an opportunity to ask David Culley this. Like, was Bradley Roby the only veteran player that you guys are shopping around? And he said that at this very moment, the Texans are not actively shopping people around. But what he did tell me and the rest of the reporters was that if a team calls and say they would like to explore the trade market for this particular player, if the trade makes sense for the Houston Texans, i.e. in Nick Caserio case, building this team in his image, that means getting rid of bad contracts. That also means trying to get as many draft capital as possible, because we all know, given everything that's going on with Deshaun Watson, the Texans, their top priority is not to win games. I'm sorry, Will, you did tell me that earlier, but their top priority is not to win games. Their top priority is try to build this team for the future and not go through a long rebuild where you look up and say in the next 7 years, we made the playoffs since 2019. No, they're trying to get this ship started right now. So that is what went on behind the scenes with the Bradley Roby trade. And when you take a look at the New Orleans Saints, they are in need of a cornerback. And I'm pretty sure the Saints called up the Texans. Hey, what would it take for us to get our hands on Bradley Roby, who is by far our top corner? But if you bring him on to the Saints, he could possibly be their second best corner and will actually help their defense as well. But you take a look at that standpoint, I'm very interested to see what did the Texans get back in this trade. Because at the time of this recording, it's been a whole, 12 hours since the news broke. We still do not know what the Texans got back in this trade. But when you take a look at the fact, knowing that Nick Caserio is not wasting any time hitting the reset button, hitting the rebuild, he wants to build this team in his image. Plus, I'm pretty sure that the Saints probably did give the Texans a good package in returns to get their hand on Roby because, like I mentioned, they was desperate for a corner. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it seems like it makes sense. I tell you what, I thought Bradley Roby would be playing Jacksonville on Sunday. Instead, he's playing in Jacksonville on Sunday while Jacksonville's players are actually in Houston.
No, he's not going to be playing because he's still serving that 1-game suspension for that he got last year.
Okay, but he'll be on the sidelines. I guess he'll be with the team as the Saints come here instead of playing at home. They're going to be hosting the Packers, but kind of a weird scenario. I really did think that I thought you guys were going to be set because you was blowing so much smoke at me talking about how y'all was going to beat Jacksonville, and now you just as humble as you can be, man. I'm going to tell you, you know what, man? I ain't never seen somebody so humble. You know what you remind me of? I saw a gazelle get lost, and all of a sudden it was around a whole bunch of lions on the animal planet. Man. And what it was one female lion. She just protected the gazelle and wouldn't let anybody eat the gazelle until the gazelle got fat enough to feed all of them, and then they devoured her. That's what I'm gonna do to you in the rest of this show today, because now you're trying to be all humble with me, and you were blowing. I came on there huffing. There ain't nothing like coming on here huffing, ready to fight, and now you want to be nice, man. But it's all good, man. Y'all my brothers from another mother. Here's what we're gonna do, though.
I do have a quick question, Wig, if you don't mind. Cam Robinson is back. He's expected to play on Sunday, right?
Right.
How confident are you in that ankle, in that whole situation with Cam Robinson and his ankle? How confident are you going into week one, really for the entire season, in Cam Robinson?
I'm as comfortable as I can possibly be. I thought they needed to address the line for 2 straight years. They didn't. The past administration or this administration. They feel like it was their strength. So they in the last 2 years, they've added 2 players, one in the second round and one in the 4th round, because I guess they thought they were okay. I disagree with them, but there's no need for me to argue about it because it's their decision. So they're comfortable with the guys. And I know before we started, you asked me if I wanted Larry Matonsa. I said if he'll play right tackle, because Cam Robinson has never in his life played anything other than left tackle, and they franchise tagged him. So that means to tell me that they're pretty comfortable with it. But we're going to talk about the Jaguars offense and Houston offense in segment 2, and then both defenses to get ready for this crossover in segment 3. And we'll do it in just a second. We have some messages for you from Locked On Jaguars and Locked On Texans.
Attention gamblers of all shapes and sizes. Our friends at Manscaped have a can't-miss bet for you today. The leaders in male grooming just launched their 4th-generation performance package. The betting odds are in your favor, and when you use the Lawnmower 4.0 across the board, this is a package that get you in the mood for whatever your gambling heart desires. Ready to take a leap to male grooming royalty? 2 million men have already joined Manscaped, the movement, by going to Manscaped for 20% off and free shipping with the code Locked On. That is free shipping with the code Locked On.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with this Locked On Jaguars and Locked On Texans crossover edition as we head closer to week 1 of the regular season. Now, as Wig alluded to, we are going to talk about the Texans offense and the Jaguars offense. And guys, listeners, look, at this very moment, I honestly don't know what to make of the Houston Texans offense. We have Tyrod Taylor as our starting quarterback, but it seems like he's going to be entering this first game with not a lot of weapons. If you guys don't know, the Houston Texans did name their 53-man roster, and at the time, they did have only 5 wide receivers and 5 running backs. This is going to be a very run-heavy offense. But the only positive I would say entering this first game against Jacksonville is the fact that Anthony Miller, a guy that I've been high on, John has been high on, a lot of people has been high on because we saw the potential there in Chicago, but it never seemed like he had a fair opportunity there. With the departure of Kiki QT, Anthony Miller has a great opportunity to showcase what he can do out here on the football field. The only issue is Anthony Miller did get hurt in the preseason opener against the Green Bay Packers. He sustained a slightly separated shoulder, but he's been at practice on Monday and on yesterday. And when the Texans released their injury report, he was not on there. So it seems he may be good to go. I did not have an opportunity to ask David Culley whether or not Miller is good to go, but judging by the injury report, that might be one of, if not the only positive that the Texans fans can look forward to as we head closer to the season opener.
I'm going to go with a positive and a negative. A positive, Laramie Tunsil, who got off the COVID list. He's back in that starting lineup. He will be expected to play in week 1. A negative, Charlie Heck, who is on the COVID list, will not play come week 1. And I look at a Jacksonville Jaguar defense that's so young, talented, strong, speedy, quick in their front 4 defensively, and that worries me a lot. That really does. Now, when we look across the entire league, you got the 49ers. They have a good young defense in their front 4. We know about San Francisco. They have a very good young defense. We look at their front 4 players. Jacksonville is right up there with some of the teams that have those front 4s that can get to you at times without sending an extra man. That really does worry me. And I think overall, Jacksonville does check off a lot of boxes that Houston may not. But I thought offensive line with Charlie Heck starting, that was one of those where you can kind of check it off for who may win at different moments of the game. Now, Jacksonville clear-cut favorite to win that battle, which will affect what I think can possibly be with this Houston offense with those 5 running backs, because we have 5 running backs on this roster.
I got an answer for you when we talk defense in the next segment for what we'll look for. They're running a Baltimore 3-4 now with they're going to have some 4-man fronts in the nickel. But just think about the Ravens and the way that they played with all of those different guys standing up. They made a real big effort to stop the run. First, I'm going to tell you what to look for with the Jaguars offense. A friend of you guys, Duke Johnson, is on the practice squad, so he's not playing yet, but I think they did that just to get him up to snuff to kind of make up for some pass catching that they lost when they lost Travis Etienne for the season. You're going to get a heavy dose of James Robinson and Carlos Hyde with a lot of play action. Urban says they're not going to design runs for the number 1 overall pick, but his legs will be involved. I anticipate a lot of bootlegs. I anticipate him going down the field a lot because DJ Chark will be back. He missed all the preseason with a broken hand, but he's back practicing. Marvin Jones Jr. is obviously the guy who may get the most looks because he's a veteran who's going to be sort of the outlet, if you will, for Trevor Lawrence. The offensive line hasn't played together all preseason, so they've struggled at times. However, in the 3rd preseason game, they did look a lot better against Dallas, even though they were playing against Dallas's backups. But before that, they were playing against the backups from other teams, and they were struggling. So getting everybody back for the last 2 weeks without the quote-unquote quarterback competition, they've really had an opportunity to develop an identity and build a playbook around the strengths of Trevor Lawrence, which is a lot. So I think this is going to be a game where Trevor actually throws it a lot if they can protect him. I would be surprised if they start running and then they use play action, really open the passing game up for about 2 and 2.5 quarters. And if they're successful and score points, then turn around and go back to the run and feed guys like James Robinson and of course Carlos Hyde to try to seal the game. That's sort of the formula that I think is going to happen. But it's going to be super interesting to figure out the identity of both teams since these are 2 new staffs. So I want to talk about the defense. I really do want to talk about the defense. And
can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Why does it seem like James Robinson has been lost in the mix this offseason? The guy just had a generational type of year last year with rookie year, and they go out and draft Travis Etienne, of course, Sunshine, Urban Meyer. It seems like the one bright spot from last year has been dimmed a little bit. And, this guy can really, kind of make or break this offense a little bit. I think so with his talent.
Well, when you think about James Robinson, just think about it. Coming in the last season, nobody knew who he was. So the fact that he isn't getting that treatment, it don't affect him one bit because nobody knew who he was anyway. And he came in and unseated Leonard Fournette, and he was able to do his thing. I think the lack of emphasis on one runner is Urban's college background, where you usually have a running back room and you're probably going to use 4 of those dudes. And the league has sort of over the years, outside of Derrick Henry and a few other guys, the league has kind of gone to that 2-back set where you have, for instance, look in our own division with Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor. So you have like this 2-headed monster. And with the Saints who will play here, over the years, you've had Alvin Kamara and somebody else, or somebody else in Kamara before he was even a starter. And when you look around the league, you see this 2-headed monster. In Tampa, who won the Super Bowl, you saw 3 people, right? The Chiefs had a dude who had 100 yards in the Super Bowl and was a hero, and they went and drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This is what teams are doing around the league. So I really think the nature of James Robinson, his personality, where he just comes in and he kind of keeps his head down. I told somebody last year he had the personality of Walter Payton. And that's just what he does. He just comes in, he works hard. You almost can't see what makes him so good until they start playing. And then he'll do something and you'll go, wow, he's really, really good. So that's just the kind of player he is, and it's really his personality. You combine that with Urban's background, they don't really have to feed his ego because he doesn't have one. I hope that answers your question.
Listen, that just, if we can talk football, that shed a little bit about what kind of makes him who he is. Like you said, it came out of nowhere, burst on the scene. Even when they go draft a running back, won a national championship, everybody knows their name in the first round. And then he goes down, unfortunately. I really wanted to see Travis Etienne on the field this year, but even with
Robinson
that,
Robinson was going to start regardless. Etienne was here for explosiveness. He was here because the Jaguars were almost last in the league of big chunk plays. So he was here to probably touch the ball 4 or 5 times in the running game and 4 or 5 times in the passing game, maybe 8, 9, 10 touches a game. Unless he, of course, anytime a guy gets hot, you're going to keep giving it to him. But I always look at it like this. James Robinson was always meant to open the game and always meant to close it if they're winning.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying. Like, even with you bringing all that in, you kind of look at him like, did they forget about you? But they forgot about you last year and look at the type of year you had. So this is a perfect player for Trevor Lawrence to get, accustomed to the league. You can hand the ball off to him. He can make plays, make your job a whole lot easier.
Absolutely. And you know what else he does very well? Pass protect. And when you can pass protect for and Travis Etienne was probably going out into the formation. But when you can pass protect for a young rookie quarterback who has legs and just buy him that extra time that he needs to get the ball off, it's always going to help. We're going to step aside real quick, and I'm going to give you a couple of these live reads. I'm going to give you a couple of sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to talk defense. Let's talk defense, and this is going to be fun because both teams are making switches with how they play this year. I'm going to let you know about BetOnline. BetOnline is the best place for all of you guys to go and make your bets on the games this season. It's the start of the season now, come this Sunday for us, but on Thursday, there's a big game, and I got something to tell you about that. You need to head to the website to use your mobile device to sign up today to receive a 100% welcome bonus on your mobile device or your laptop. Now, be sure to take advantage of the opening day super promo. Make a bet on the Thursday, September 9th game between the Bucs and those Cowboys. And if you lose, your wager will be refunded up to $25 for new customers only when signing up and using the promo code NFL100. Now, for the rest of the customers, when you go, you're going to get a 100% welcome bonus when you sign up to play by using the promo code Locked On. From football, basketball, boxing, right to your favorite Las Vegas casino games, don't wait and take advantage of all the great offers available for 2021. BetOnline is where I go. It's where you need to go because it's your online experts. And I'm going to hit you up right now about rockauto.com, man. If you have a vehicle or if one of your family members has a vehicle and you need to make sure that you get quality parts and accessories for your car, make sure you do it at rockauto.com because it's a family-owned business serving auto parts customers online for 20 years. Go to rockauto.com to shop for auto and body parts from hundreds of manufacturers. I hate going in those chain stores and they're asking me silly questions that I don't know the answer to. What size is your engine? I have no clue. I just need the part, right? And I don't want to wait while they stand there and order it and some dude drives off to a factory down the street and go to get it. All I got to do is go to rockauto.com and pull it up. And they're going to ask, how did you hear about us? Write Locked On in that how did you hear about us box so they know we sent you. And then all you got to do is just wait and you'll get a knock at the door and your parts and accessories will be there and you'll save 30, 40, 50, sometimes even 70% on your parts and accessories. So it's an amazing selection, reliably low prices. All the parts your car will ever need are at rockauto.com and make sure you tell them that Locked On sent you. Segment 3, right here with the boys. That's right, with the boys from the Houston Texans. We're here on segment 3 of a crossover edition with Locked On Jaguars, with Locked On Texans. My boys, you know, they got confidence, but not as confident as they're not quite as confident as they once was. But anything can happen on opening day, and opening day is Sunday. What we're going to see is, and I'll go first, we're going to see two defenses that are totally different. And I said in the last segment that the Jaguars are now running a base 3-4 with their nickel being a 4-3. One of the things that they made a concentrated effort to do was stop the run. So I think it's very interesting that both of you guys talked about how many running backs you're going to have and how David Culley is going to have a run-first offense. The Jaguars made a concentrated effort. Urban Meyer said he wanted one of the top 8, which is he wants to be in the top quarter of the league for defensive line. He really addressed it. He made a trade for Malcolm Brown.
That was big, by the way.
Yeah, they went and got Roy Robertson Harris, a developmental guy that they really liked because they had some relationships that said he was going to be a good player. They got him from Chicago. And, I mean, they got some rookies that they had back last year in Devon Hamilton. Josh Allen is better at outside linebacker. Getting Jihad Ward from Baltimore, where defensive coordinator Joe Cullen came from, and Urban said he wants to play like the Ravens. I think you're going to see a mix and match front with a bunch of big physical guys that can run when they go up against Houston in that running attack Sunday.
I'm scared of y'all front 4, man. With that front 7. I like I mentioned early in the show, like what you just did was say why you think they're going to be much better. And what I'm thinking about is why they were already kind of good. So you mentioned going out and getting a new D-line coach, addressing players, pieces on that defensive front. We thought you could have been better. And then year 2 of Kevin Young, I'm thinking, okay, year 1 really wasn't that good. Didn't meet the expectations that most people thought. But year 2 with the development, how much scarier can that front 4 and 7 get? And what an offensive line is already out. That's missing Charlie Heck, who isn't going to be that equipped to go against y'all. Now he's got out the game. That's scary. But I think for defensively, I think Houston has a good chance to dominate with their front 7 because I believe Houston is in the same position the Jaguar defense is. A little bit better than your opponent will be. Charles Omenihu, I'm expecting to have him. I think Houston has a lot of talent at 1 and 3 technique where they can really cause problems, whether in the run game or whether in the pass game, for your line, throw off whatever Trevor Lawrence wants to do, get after him and hit him a couple of times, right? So I think that's a situation where Houston can win, and I don't trust, and this is not me taking a shot at him, I just don't trust Cam Robinson. I really don't. I trust that bookend for either side of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think if Houston can win that battle, then they have an opportunity to win the game defensively for them. Because I don't trust our offense neither.
That's fair.
Yeah, for me, I think the only way the Texans can actually win this game, John, to your point, is if the Texans defensive front do a great job making things uncomfortable for Trevor Lawrence. Because Wig, like I mentioned, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a tremendous career here in the NFL, but I think because this is going to be his first game, he might not look as good as we know he's going to look. Let's say I think the next time we play out maybe like week 10 or somewhere along those lines. But because this is his first NFL game, I think if the Texans can actually get after him, knowing that you guys are going into this game with a weakened offensive line, if they can make that uncomfortable for him, I think that could force Trevor Lawrence into making some questionable decisions. However, on the flip side of this, and no, I'm not just saying that just because we traded Bradley Roby, because if Bradley Roby was still part of this roster, he was not going to be playing his first game. I always had questions about this Texans secondary because without Bradley Roby, I believe right now our top two corners on the depth chart is Terrence Mitchell and Vernon Hargreaves. And if Trevor Lawrence can get into a rhythm early, then he's going to do some wonders in his very first game against the Houston Texans. Plus, when you take a look at the secondary in its entirety, yes, you still have Desmond King, but Lonnie Johnson Jr., he's been dealing with a thigh injury. At first, they say it wasn't that bad, but now this whole entire week, he did not practice. He's listed as questionable as we head closer to this week 1. So right now in this secondary, our best player might be Justin Reed, and that we saw the issues Reed had last year when he only one out there on the field trying to make plays, trying to make plays on the ball. Yes, when you bring in guys like Desmond King, I mean the secondary is a little bit better than it was last year, but the loss of Lonnie Johnson in the secondary is going to be a problem for the Texans. And like I just mentioned, if Trevor Lawrence can get into a rhythm early on, then you guys might be able to pull away victorious in this game.
I think special teams will matter. And Logan Cook, our punter, is one of the best punters in the league. And Josh Lambo, our place kicker, is one of the best place kickers in the league. So add that to that caveat. Now I'll give you a prediction. I think y'all going to have some fight in you because it's a home game. It's a home opener. And I do think, as much as I teased David Culley about his wardrobe choices or whatever, that was just gamesmanship on my part. I'm really always excited when a longtime assistant gets an opportunity to be a head coach, just like I was very, very excited about Bruce Arians when he finally got his shot. So I'm excited for him. I wish it was under better circumstances because obviously I think we need more minority coaches in the NFL. But I do think it'll be good for a while, but I think the Jaguars, they have a little bit too much continuity going for them where they're trying to get good players right now, and Houston's unloading good players to move into their future. So I'm going to say Jacksonville 33, Houston 17.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say, everything that you just said, I think because the offseason has just been terrible for the Houston Texans, they have been a laughingstock. Not only are you guys coming in with a rookie quarterback, you guys are also coming in as a rookie head coach. I still got the Texans coming away victorious in this game, John. This might be my only time I say this, but I got the Houston Texans 13-10.
No, I think Houston wins this game. It's something about how I'm sorry, Wig. I value what I think Lovie Smith can do. Maybe now that may be an area of the team where I may be overvaluing it right now. I just saw the difference between last year and this year in 3 games and the development of players. But I've been saying all along, if there is any game Houston will win, it won't be the second time we play y'all. The first time week 1, I think Houston goes and get this dub 24-18.
All right, so the good news is for everybody, whether you agree with him or you agree with me or agree with them and agree with me, you can go watch the Locked On Bets podcast with your boy Q and expert Lee Sterling. They're going to give you all of the good beats, bad beats, pick of the day, tell you what to stay away from, and hopefully they'll speak right to you and tell you to stay away from whatever they just said, because there's no way in hell that the Jaguars are going to lose to Houston. But with that being said, It's always fun to do this crossover, man. And I'm glad the Texans and the Jaguar fans got a chance to see us act a fool like we always do. And something I always say is we need to take care of each other. So everybody do that until Friday, when the Locked On Texans podcast and the Locked On Jaguars podcast gets right back to regular programming. And we'll see what happens this weekend when football. I'm just glad Toe finally meeting level. And I know you guys are too. We're gonna have fans in the stadium, and I guess it's gonna be fun for everybody, man. So
yes, I am. I feel like football is different this year. Last year, we knew it was like at any moment it was gonna shut down. We weren't gonna have football, but we made it to the Natty Championship game. We made it to the Super Bowl last year, so now that fear is gone. I'm looking for tickets to go to certain games. My boys, I feel football. I cover high school football here in Texas now, so there's no fear of it canceling. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic that we got football back on all 3 levels. Hell, 4. I went to a middle school game.
Wow, there you go. Well, my man, you said you're gonna come on, be humble, and then you picked the Texans to win anyway. So
I gave y'all 13-10.
Steve,
I say first of all, think y'all about to. What'd you say? 33? Like
I said, because of the kicker, we're gonna probably kick. How many field goals you need for 33? 4. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think we'll score 3 touchdowns and kick 4 field goals. But first of all, take that bass out your voice when you talking about you gave me 10 points. Yeah, my grandma can score 10 points.
I think Trevor Lawrence turns the ball over a couple of times Sunday, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that might be. That might. I tell you what, Bradley Roby won't be picking them off. That's for sure.
Oh man.
You know, I'm quick.
No, we wasn't gonna have them anyways. So it really don't matter.
Yeah, I know. I saw a hidden camera of Bradley Roby when he got traded today. He said, whew. So that tells you everything you need to know about that. No, man, I'm serious though, man. Good luck to you guys Sunday, man, and thank y'all for joining us here on this crossover episode. You know I wasn't gonna let you get away without killing you, man. Take care from T-Wig and my boys with Locked On Texas in Houston.